On this T.I. thing real quick. Did I read to y'all what T.I. said? I think I did. So T.I. and Boosie went back and forth. Boosie dropped another clip recently, and he said he haven't spoken to him since.
You had a mostly completed album, and then this came out.
Yes, bro.
Did you and T.I. have a conversation about it?
No, bro. Last time we talked, he said we ran the culture. He said, man, we gonna talk about the album. You know what I'm saying? That was the last thing we talked about, but man, it was bad timing, bro. Like, we finna put this shit together. Real smoke, bro, and you going there. And what I stand on, you go on a fucking interview and say that?
Well, you even said that this album with T.I. is better than Drake and 21 Savage's album.
Smoke! That's how good this motherfucker is. You know, me and Tip hard to get up to. Bro, Smoke, bro, his talent, bro, but, you know, like, he hurt me with that one, bro. You know, like, bro, like, from me, I was just really trying to figure out. I was like, man, I think this fucking dude is lying. I think he just went up that motherfucker and, like, why would you?
Look. I mean, the whole argument of why he didn't say shit. I mean, look, how long did it take me to talk about my whole home invasion situation that me and you talked about in our interview? How long did it take me to talk about me getting ripped off for a kilo of cocaine? Like, you know, this is 15 years after. Like, you know, people hold in a lot of shit. Our podcast, not everyone cares about.
I don't know. I guess.
All right, so you say that he hasn't talked to T.I. since that happened, and before that he said this.
You had a mostly completed album, and then this came.
So basically, he had an album with T.I. He says it's not coming out.
Yes, bro.
Did you and T.I. have a conversation about it?
No, bro. Last time we talked, he said we ran the culture. He said, man, we gonna talk about the album. You know what I'm saying? That was the last thing we talked about, but man, it was bad timing, bro. Like, you know, like, he hurt me with that one.
Whole argument of why he didn't.
Okay, all right. Now, I told y'all this before, and I know some people say, yo, Ak, you talked about this before. Yeah, but I didn't talk about this aspect. So T.I. came back around and cleared this up, right? So T.I. did this whole interview, T.I., and essentially what he said in the interview, that he was making a joke. I told you he was going to say he was making a joke. Now, this interview was seeming like it was a year old. He didn't feel the need to clear up before it was a joke. But recently he came out to say it was a joke. Let me see. Here it is. The Rich Trapper. He did an interview with, I'm not too sure who this guy is, but shit. Get this guy an interview.
So yeah, man, like we was saying.
Shit was confusing because he and I have a relationship.
Right.
And it's so many times, like when somebody had you.
Okay, so let me skip to a part where he explains how the case got resolved. He said basically there was no snitching. The case got resolved because his lawyer filed a motion to suppress, that they basically got the evidence illegally, and that evidence of how they got it, or the evidence that they got because of the illegal stuff, couldn't be used, which means if that evidence can't be used, how could you charge him with a gun, which means they dropped it. However, what he said was that he snitched on his cousin. Now he's coming back in this interview to say, well, it got dropped because his motion to suppress, and I was joking when I said I snitched. Here we go.
No, you better than that to not.
Here we go.
Right.
And not just playing in the. Like, I ain't gonna do it. People call me, it was like, and having a platform, you know, my job.
Right. Open up conversation.
Open up the floor. I mean, and he said, nah, I can't do it.
They didn't get the change of inflection in voice. They didn't get the fact that you.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it.
Right.
You understand? I mean, and he said, nah, I can't do it. You know what I mean? He said, man, I can't really say nothing about anybody who do, but I can't do it. So off of that conversation, I created a set of circumstances. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I thought that the embellishment was clear when I said I talked to my cousin and he told me.
They didn't get the satire in the conversation. They didn't get the change of inflection in voice. They didn't get the fact that you was basically being sarcastic.
Humor, sarcasm,
satire might be said too much of a shit for. Let's call it sarcasm.
Yeah,
he was fucking around.
So essentially, he said he's fucking around, right? Regardless, there's another piece of the clip. Let me see. Is it this? Yeah, I think it's this. Hold
on. Internet. So as far as going on,
he did, and nah, man, we've been cool for to exist on a higher
about the future.
And you see a motherfucker as a solid motherfucker. He just went solid.
We got some news you can use.
And
okay,
expected so much more from the person, because I say it's confusing to me. Man, listen,
the truth don't come with excitement.
Shit for that long, just to set it on fire.
It just needs to be mended and right now.
To always remain.
Say, here go your shit, right?
And I ain't in nobody paperwork. And all that speculation is just
never PC'd up, hit the yard, the hole.
I went to the hole for some some shit I did. I got caught doing some shit in the visitor room.
Too. I want to make it wise is.
Okay, I'm trying to find the exact part. By the way, salute to this guy, Rich Trapper, I guess. I think I posted on my Instagram, so let me just go back there. So this is him explaining how he got out of this case, and he's going to explain that there was a motion to squash this thing, and here we go. I think this is it.
Taking it from a very real place and adding some embellishment.
Oh no, okay, it should be at the beginning of this. And sorry, I'm all over the place, people. Here we go. Should be at the beginning of.
Taking it from a very real place and adding some embellishment to it to fit the needed discussion.
Right.
Anybody who would call me and ask what really happened is, hey man, what happened? What's up with this? Well, the case was resolved due to a motion to suppress all of the evidence because of an illegal search and seizure. The case was dismissed.
You gotta say it slow for him, bro.
The case was resolved because of a motion to suppress all evidence due to an illegal search and seizure. No need to point no finger, say nothing about nobody or
legal
anybody about nothing.
Standpoint, that situation shouldn't have happened.
Exactly. That was the argument that my counsel took to the judge. The judge banged his gavel after hearing why they pulled us over.
And the reason why I put it in such an elementary term is because, again, we do live in this age of the internet. So
okay, so he said that's why the case got dismissed. Do I believe T.I.? Yeah, I believe him. Actually, yeah, I believe him. Because if he lied about this, they're going to find it, right? Like, we're in this, like, paperwork age. You're going to find it. So I got to imagine this is the truth. But I drew a bigger point from this than just that. You know, T.I. has pivoted to be a comedian. And this is why I think that just overall T.I.'s pivot will not be successful. T.I., and this is what I keep telling you, like, being a street nigga holds people back so much. T.I. is not afforded and allowed to make certain jokes. Also, when T.I. speaks, his comedic voice sounds like his serious voice. T.I. also, before he went to pivot to comedy, started taking some interest in some activist / political talk where he was speaking up on the behalf of people that might have been, oppressed or taken advantage of, or, whatever, things that happened to them in the community. And T.I.'s vocabulary changed expeditiously. He started speaking with certain type of mannerisms and tones that you'd be used to either a preacher or politician speaking with, but you wouldn't be that familiar with a comedian speaking with. So when T.I. then tries to draw up and use, oh no, I was telling a joke, we could really watch that 20 times and we don't think it was a joke. We think he's just talking, but talking like a street nigga. You get what I mean? And unfortunately, he might be telling the truth where like he was trying to make a joke, but this is why I think that comedy ultimately won't work for him, right? I mean, if you're saying stuff, and people are so just typecasted in you being a gangster rapper that you can't even make self-deprecating jokes, how could you really get on stage and then really convince people that, you're just this hilarious motherfucker. You get what I mean? So that's what I pretty much think. Somebody said folded. No, it's not folded. No. I know, y'all want me to say that I think T.I. lied. I would have said that because like this is a random shit to make up, right? So this is so random to make up. It's like it's like somebody lying to say they're a rapist, right? Like it's like somebody lying and making a joke that they're a rapist. You're like, why would you do that? Like who does that, right? Like that's kind of odd, right? Or saying like you're gonna lie and make up a joke that you're a serial killer or something. Like who does that? Seems a little odd. The only reason why I'm gonna believe T.I. here, right, about him saying that he was a snitch, right? The only reason why I'm believing T.I. that he said it was a joke is because if it wasn't a joke and that's how it went down, and there exists a case that people could find that he supposedly told on a dead cousin, is going to get brought up and brought up very soon. People are probably digging through his records now. Like, why would you lie about, and shit, that might be a conundrum in itself. Because I want to say, why would you lie about stuff that people could go look up and find out? That's why I'm believing him. But then people are going to look at me and be like, why would he lie about being a snitch? Like, who would ever lie about being a snitch? I don't know. Again, I think that was a poor joke as well to make, especially considering his history. But again, I think he might have been doing this interview and thinking, yo, I'm funny right now. I'm cracking jokes. Now, when we see that little snippet, and I don't know if you have seen the snippet of the shit, T.I. podcast snitch. Let me see if I can. Yeah, here it is. Is it this? No, we gotta find the original part. Dead cousin. Let's see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find the original podcast. Yeah, it's hard to find that original.
Birdman's brother Terrence.
If you could walk away free and put it on
To his deceased relative to.
Yo, chat. I don't know, man. Think he's trying to be humorous, but he's mad specific, bruh. I don't know, dog. And I'll admit my bias because I love T.I.'s music, and I love T.I. Like, he's somebody who I've just looked up to. Like, he's been one of my favorite musicians. So, like, I'm going to be in denial, man. Like, unless we got, like, one of them tapes where, like that TYMB Faye shit where he's like, yo, or some YSL Woody shit to be like, yo, call that nigga. Like, yo, call him. I'll get on the phone and, like, I'll show y'all what y'all need to hear. I'm going to be in a little bit more denial. But anyway, interestingly enough, let me put some stuff up. Not too sure if y'all seen this. Give me a second. Give me a second. And by the way, shortly I do have to go check on my dogs. I see they're still chilling back there, but I just got to do a little wellness check on them. Got to check on the Gotta check on the puppies. Give me 1 second. I'll show you. Where the hell is it? It's not there. It's not that.